Welcome to today's deep dive. I want you to start by taking a second to imagine a world where security isn't just a passive recording on some grainy videotape.
Right, yeah, like an active, intelligent network.
Exactly. Picture a building that actually recognizes you, anticipates your movements throughout the day, and alerts the right people the absolute second something looks out of place.
It's a massive shift.
It really is.
Yeah.
We are looking at a massive shift in the physical security industry today, specifically focusing on CCTV integration and how we are turning standard cameras into, well, incredibly smart security tools.
It is a huge transition, and to understand it, we are pulling from a really diverse stack of sources today.
Yeah, we've got a lot to get through.
We do. We've got commercial security guides from Avigilon Safe and Sound Security and CSI Security. But we're also looking at real-world locksmith training transcripts, smart lock consumer reviews, and even some investigative reports on traditional locksmith scams.
Which are wild to read, by the way.
Oh, totally.
Yeah.
But they help us understand why this digital leap is so necessary right now. The mission for this deep dive is to explore exactly how modern integration allows cameras to work alongside access control systems, alarms, and smart analytics.
So we're breaking down how this creates a fully connected network.
Right, transforming cameras from passive observers into proactive security tools.
Before we jump into all of that, we do have a sponsor for today's deep dive, West Point Locksmith. If you are in the Los Angeles area, they are the fast, reliable, and professional locksmiths you really need to know about.
The absolute pros.
You can reach them at 310-295-4040. They are available 24/7, serving all of LA for everything from emergency lockouts to rekeying, smart locks, and even car key replacements.
And they have incredible 5-star reviews.
They really do, which we're actually going to use as real-world case studies today as we explore these security upgrades. Okay, let's unpack this. Let's start by looking at the contrast between traditional security and the new digital frontier.
When you read through the YouTube transcripts detailing the traditional locksmith business, it paints a picture of a very physical, mechanical world.
Yeah, you have these guys setting up customized Renault traffic vans equipped with heavy key-cutting machines.
Specialized power packs.
Right, and an entire array of leashy picks.
And if you aren't familiar with the terminology, a leashy pick is this incredibly precise, almost surgical tool. It allows a skilled locksmith to essentially decode the shape of a keyway entirely by feel.
They just slide it into the lock and manipulate the individual pins until the lock turns.
Exactly. In fact, one of the transcripts mentions the 80-20 rule of automotive locksmithing. It states that 80% of the job's skill is just in the mechanical picking of the lock itself.
It's an art form, really. But that heavy reliance on mechanics is exactly where the vulnerabilities lie.
Right. The foundation of security has always been the physical lock and key. But while physical locks are foundational, they have inherent flaws. And the sources point out that one of the biggest vulnerabilities isn't even the metal lock itself.
It's the human element.
Yes, the human element surrounding it. If we look at the investigative reports and the Wikipedia entries on locksmith scams, we see a recurring systemic issue.
It's so frustrating to read about.
These reports detail high-stress situations. Someone is locked out of their home in the rain or locked out of their car at midnight, and they search for an emergency service on their phone.
And instead of getting a skilled professional with a leashy pick, they get a scammer.
Exactly. They get hit by fake emergency locksmiths. Instead of using those skilled picking techniques to gently decode the lock, these individuals show up and needlessly take a power drill straight through the center of the lock.
They just completely destroy the hardware.
Destroy it and then overcharge the customer by hundreds of dollars for a replacement.
You have people quoted $50 on the phone, and then the guy shows up, drills the lock in under a minute, and demands almost $200.
Claiming it was a commercial-grade lock that couldn't be picked. The sources highlight this as a widespread issue that regulatory agencies are really struggling to keep up with.
Because these scam companies just changed their names and phone numbers the very next day.
Right.
So you have this traditional mechanical world that, while necessary, is wide open to exploitation. Plus, it lacks any real accountability. Think about your own office building.
Okay.
If someone uses a physical metal key to enter a side door at 2 a.m., unless you have a human security guard physically standing there watching them, you just have to trust that the person holding the key is the person who is actually supposed to be holding the key.
And that insight right there, the shift from trusting the key to verifying the identity, is precisely what the industry is solving through integrated access control.
The digital solution completely removes that blind trust.
When you connect a CCTV camera system directly to an access control system, the cameras are no longer just rolling tape on a continuous loop. They're actually triggered by the access event itself.
So the second someone swipes a key card or enters a PIN,
Or uses their mobile phone to unlock a door, the camera automatically records a high-definition clip of that specific event.
the technology making that mobile entry happen is remarkably sophisticated now. The Avigilon Commercial Access Control Guide talks about their triple unlock technology.
It doesn't just rely on a standard Bluetooth connection, which can be spotty.
Right, it simultaneously leverages 3 different signals: Bluetooth, local Wi-Fi, and cellular data, just to make sure your mobile entry is fast and never fails.
They even have a wave to unlock feature.
You literally just wave your hand near the reader detects the phone in your pocket using those 3 signals,
Yeah.
and you are in. It's totally frictionless.
It is frictionless, but it also introduces a completely new threat vector.
Network encryption.
Exactly. You're trading mechanical vulnerabilities for network vulnerabilities.
Yeah.
If a system is completely frictionless, you have to worry about cyber attacks. That's why that triple unlock redundancy and the underlying software encryption are so vital. You aren't worrying about a picked lock anymore. You're worrying about a hacked signal.
That is a great point. And it's why having a professional handle the network side of the installation is so critical. We can actually see this exact technology playing out successfully in Los Angeles right now.
Through the West Point reviews.
Yeah. Looking at a 5-star review for our sponsor, West Point Locksmith, gives us a perfect case study. Sarah J., an operations director for a company in downtown LA, left a detailed review outlining their transition.
What did she have installed?
She hired West Point for the installation of a networked keycard access system across 3 distinct floors of her corporate office. She noted that it allowed her team instant, cloud-based management of employee access permissions.
So if someone lost a card,
She could deactivate it from her laptop in 3 seconds. It proved to her that physical keys really are becoming a liability for modern growing businesses.
what's fascinating here is how security teams can now instantly match those digital entry logs with the corresponding video footage. It entirely removes the guesswork.
Going back to that 2 a.m. example,
Right. In a traditional setup, if an employee loses their physical key and someone else finds it and uses it to open that side door, the access log just shows the employee's name.
but with integrated CCTV.
The system logs the entry and instantly attaches a video clip of the person walking through the door. You can look at the dashboard the next morning and immediately say, well, that is definitely not our employee.
The accountability is absolute. Which brings us to what happens after the door opens. Knowing who walked through the door is really only half the battle.
The real leap forward is the end of the blind camera.
For decades, security cameras were entirely reactive. They were forensic tools. They just sat there, recording hours and hours of footage to a dusty hard drive in a back room,
You just had to hope that if a break-in happened, the camera caught it.
and that you could find the right timestamp the next day. Now, modern CCTV systems are incredibly proactive. They send instant notifications to your phone or computer the literal second suspicious activity is detected.
It's the difference between forensic security, sweeping up the broken glass and investigating what happened yesterday, and active security, stopping the rock before it even hits the window.
We're actually seeing this concept start at the consumer level and scale all the way up to enterprise solutions.
If you check out the Valid Consumer YouTube review covering smart home locks, they break down consumer products like the Schlage Encode Plus and the Yale Assure 2.
These aren't just deadbolts.
Right, they have built-in Wi-Fi and connect directly to your home network and your smartphone. The review notes that if someone tries to physically tamper with the lock, or if the door is forced open with a crowbar, the lock doesn't just make a local alarm noise.
It sends an instant encrypted push notification right to your phone, whether you are upstairs in bed or on a business trip in Tokyo.
And when you scale that proactive concept up for commercial businesses, the capabilities become massive. Business owners and security directors can now view live footage remotely from smartphones or computers via cloud-based platforms.
You don't need to be sitting in a dedicated, windowless security room staring at monitors anymore.
You can be at a conference across the country, get a push alert on your phone that a restricted IT closet was opened after hours, and pull up the live video feed of that exact room instantly.
The CSI Security Guide details an amazing example of this proactive approach in Los Angeles. They offer something they call a virtual guard perimeter system.
This isn't just a camera on a pole.
No, it's a proprietary early detection setup. It uses AI streaming cameras, motion-activated floodlighting, and live guard monitoring. Let's paint the picture. Someone is loitering around a commercial perimeter wall at 3 a.m.
The AI detects the human movement.
Instantly triggers the floodlights to illuminate the area and simultaneously alerts a live monitoring station. A real human security guard sitting in a command center can then use a two-way audio system attached to the camera to speak directly to the intruder.
They can say, you in the red jacket, you are trespassing, you are being recorded, and police are being dispatched.
It deters the crime in real time, sending them running before a physical break-in even occurs.
It's an incredible deterrent. But the challenge with any motion-activated system, especially outdoors, has always been false alarms.
Oh, definitely.
If the floodlights and the alarm trigger every time a stray cat walks by or a tree branch blows in the wind, the security team gets alert fatigue and stops paying attention.
And that is exactly where the AI filtering comes in. Here's where it gets really interesting. We need to dive into the smart video analytics.
The AI capabilities are completely changing the game because they solve that exact false alarm problem.
It's the difference between your phone buzzing every single time a leaf blows across your driveway versus only buzzing when a delivery truck actually pulls up.
The cameras themselves are essentially becoming powerful computers with lenses attached to them. We aren't just relying on a human security guard staring at a grid of 60 monitors, fighting eye fatigue, and hoping to spot a tiny detail out of the ordinary.
The AI is doing the heavy lifting of categorizing the data before a human ever sees it.
The technical guides from LA City Locksmith, Safe and Sound Security, and the high-rise building security protocols list some incredible AI-powered features that are now completely standard in advanced camera systems.
We are talking about highly accurate motion detection that categorizes objects, facial recognition that can cross-reference databases, object tracking that follows a person from camera to camera,
And automatic license plate recognition that logs every vehicle entering a parking garage.
To understand why this matters, you really have to look at the sheer volume of data a modern security system takes in. Think about a standard commercial high-rise building.
It might have 200 cameras covering stairwells, lobbies, loading docks, and elevators.
No human being, or even a team of human beings, can monitor all of those video feeds effectively.
The high-rise security source knows that AI can be programmed to detect specific unusual behaviors. For example, it can detect if someone is loitering in a fire stairwell for more than 5 minutes, or if someone is attempting to pry open a secondary entrance.
It flags that specific behavior and instantly alerts personnel. It filters out the noise. The AI knows the difference between a raccoon in the parking lot and a person carrying a backpack climbing the perimeter fence.
And it actually goes way beyond just catching bad guys or spotting intruders. This technology is being used to create incredibly intelligent, responsive environments.
The IT security guide for my shift goes deep into this operational side. They detail how these biometric and AI access systems can actually integrate directly with building management systems, often called a BMS.
So your security camera and your door lock can now talk to your HVAC system and your overhead lighting.
That is where physical security and operational efficiency merge.
Exactly. Picture this. When the very first employee of the day uses facial recognition to unlock the front glass door at 6 a.m., the building's brain registers that the space is now occupied.
It automatically turns on the lights in that specific employee's zone and adjusts the air conditioning from its overnight energy-saving mode to a comfortable working temperature.
It's an entire cohesive ecosystem. But creating that cohesive ecosystem requires a very specific skill set.
Because the physical security of the building is no longer siloed away from the IT infrastructure or the facilities management.
It is all integrated, which means the people running the cables and setting up the software need to understand network architecture just as well as they understand strike plates and deadbolts.
Which brings us to another perfect case study via a 5-star review for West Point Locksmith. This one is from Dr. Mark V., a research facility manager over in Pasadena.
He needed a highly secure environment.
He praised West Point for their precise installation of a biometric fingerprint access lock for his specialized lab. He specifically noted in the review that security integrity was absolutely non-negotiable for their research, and that West Point proved they are IT professionals and experts in high-level security tech.
Not just guys who know how to cut simple metal keys.
And again, if you are in the LA area and need that level of expertise, you can call them at 310-295-4040, because getting the installation right is critical, especially when things go wrong.
That is a crucial point. Because regardless of how smart the AI is or how well the building adjusts the thermostat, incidents do still occur. If we look at the YouTube sources covering high security safes, specifically the deep dive review of the Holland PM safe, we are reminded that physical barriers still matter immensely.
That safe is a massive TL-15 rated high security vault.
For those who might not know, a TL-15 rating is a strict standard set by Underwriters Laboratories. It means the door of that safe can successfully withstand a brutal 15-minute continuous physical attack from professional safe crackers using heavy hand tools, picking tools, mechanical or electrical angle grinders, and carbide drills.
It's an absolute beast of a safe.
But the point the sources make is that determined individuals will still try to breach these physical barriers. They will still try to smash the glass or grind through the safe door.
But what integrated systems do is completely transform the aftermath and the investigation of those incidents. Anyone who has ever managed security knows exactly what you mean.
Oh, yeah.
If someone tries to force entry into an office or attempts to compromise a vault like that Holland safe overnight, the investigation process used to be an absolute nightmare.
You'd have to figure out the rough time window of the breach, then go to the separate camera system, manually rewind hours of tape.
Try to sync up the time on the camera with the time on the alarm panel, and just pray the camera wasn't pointed at a wall. It took hours, sometimes days, to piece together a timeline.
If we connect this to the bigger picture, integrated systems eliminate that friction entirely through something called a unified dashboard.
They make it significantly easier to review security events by linking the access logs, the exact timestamps, and the high-definition video recordings together in a single software interface.
It sounds like a simple software update, but it is revolutionary for a security manager's workflow.
Let me share a final case study from a 5-star review for West Point Locksmith that illustrates this beautifully. Renee H., who is a security director for a large corporate campus in LA, left a review praising West Point for successfully integrating their newly installed electronic door locks directly with their existing legacy CCTV system.
Because of that integration, every single time a keycard is used, whether access is approved or denied, the camera automatically records the event, tags it with the employee's name, and links it directly to the digital log on her unified dashboard.
And the reason companies like West Point can integrate new locks with legacy cameras is because top-tier systems like Avigilon Alta and Brevo use open API standards.
An API is essentially a universal translator. It's a set of rules that lets two completely different pieces of software shake hands and share information. The sources highlight that these open APIs allow the access control system to easily talk to existing video management software, or VMS.
So you don't have to rip and replace your entire system just to get them to talk to each other.
Exactly. But it goes even further than the cameras. Because of those open APIs, the security system can integrate directly with a company's HR databases and identity management systems, like Microsoft Active Directory.
Think about the implications of that.
If a disgruntled employee is let go on a Friday afternoon, HR updates their profile to terminate it in the database. Instantly, the open API tells the security system to revoke their physical access to the building, deactivate their mobile credential, and flag their profile in the video system.
It makes security a seamless, automated part of daily business operations, rather than an isolated manual task that someone might just forget to do.
So what does this all mean?
For you, the listener, the core takeaway from this massive stack of sources is clear. CCTV is no longer just about passively watching footage after a disaster happens. We've moved far beyond the grainy VHS tapes and the blind trust of a metal key.
It's about creating intelligent, proactive security systems that actively help protect your business, your employees, and your assets in real time.
By connecting cameras to access control, utilizing unified dashboards, and powering the whole thing with advanced AI, you turn a simple glass lens into an incredibly smart security tool.
Spot on.
And if you are in Southern California and you are ready to bring that level of intelligence to your property, I want to give one last shout out to our sponsor, West Point Locksmith. Keep their number handy, 310-295-4040. They are fast, highly professional, and available 24/7 for all your LA security needs.
Whether you just need an emergency lockout solved quickly without getting scammed, or you are ready to install cutting-edge smart analytics and biometric access control, they are the trusted team to call.
As we wrap up today's analysis, I want to leave you with a final thought to mull over, building on a very brief mention in the My Shift IT Security Guide regarding privacy-enhancing technologies.
This entire evolution raises a very important and somewhat uncomfortable question.
Yeah, it does.
As our physical security systems become incredibly intelligent, using facial recognition to identify us the moment we walk in, tracking our specific movements from the lobby to the break room, and syncing intimately with our private HR schedules. How will businesses strike the perfect balance between achieving total physical security and respecting the growing demand for personal digital privacy?
When the building you work in knows your daily habits better than you know them yourself, who is watching the watchers?
That is a heavy question and definitely something to think about the next time you walk up to a set of office doors and they magically unlock for you without you ever touching a key.
Thank you for joining us on this deep dive. Keep questioning the world around you, and we will catch you next time.